from the News Channel 5 network. This is Inside Politics.
Hello, everyone. I'm News Channel 5's political analyst, Pat Nolan. Welcome to Inside Politics. This past week has been the first time this school year that Metro Public Schools has not operated under rules that requiring students, teachers, and staff to wear masks. With COVID-19 virus numbers continuing to decline, wearing masks are optional for now. That means with our guest today on Inside Politics, being the Metro Schools Director, Dr. Adrienne Battle, we can talk about related issues in education, not just about public health. Dr. Battle, welcome back to the program. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
The COVID-19 numbers are continuing to go down for Metro Schools. You continue to see that decline?
Yes, we are. We're fortunate that as of last week, of course, we were on spring break, we saw one case across our district. So things are continuing to decline for us.
And there continue to be variants, even now sub-variants going around with the virus around the world and beginning to become a bigger percentage of the cases that are still here in this country. And hopefully that means you won't have a problem. But if there's a new spike, are we ready? Do we have enough masks? Congress didn't appropriate any more money for in there, at least an omnibus bill. Are you concerned we're going to have enough what we need if God forbid there is another spike?
We're fortunate in Metro Nashville Public Schools. We have plenty of mask capability for testing in the event that we do see a spike or if there's a need for our staff or for our students. We know that this is bigger than just a school issue, so we do need the community to be responsible, because if we see spikes in our community, ultimately that will affect our ability to continue to educate our students in the way that we are with the declines we're seeing in our schools.
You were named the permanent director of Metro Schools about 2 years ago, about the time, unfortunately, the virus hit. How does it feel to operate as you hope, at least in the months and weeks to come, that public health issues, while a priority, won't be the number one priority that kind of blots out the sun for everything else? You can actually talk about educating students.
Well, listen, again, the good news is that while we were navigating a very challenging pandemic, we didn't lose sight of what our responsibility is, and that is to educate our students. So regardless if it was trying to get laptops into the hands of students, packets, supporting their mental health, their social emotional learning, we've continued to stay focused. And so I'm looking forward to the weeks and years ahead to continue that focus in responding to their individual needs.
By the way, congratulations on 2 years on the job.
Thank you.
Looking back, how far behind did our students fall in terms of educational achievement, of all the missed time and all the other dislocations that happened during the pandemic?
Well, we're definitely not an outlier. What we've seen across the country, what we've seen across our state, MNPS is included in some of the declines that we've seen academically for our students. The good news for Metro Nashville is that our students in their most recent assessment are showing great growth and gains that are exceeding their pre-pandemic scores. And so we're really excited about how our students are rebounding, and we're going to continue to focus so that we can do greater than where we were before the pandemic.
I know the state spent quite a bit of time and money. They had a special session of the legislature last year to combat learning loss. How well does that work? And you mentioned we're catching up. Is the state's action part of that catching up?
Well, I think what's important here is to recognize the federal stimulus package. Metro Nashville, because of the student population we served, were great recipients of the stimulus funds that have helped us really leverage and scale lots of our academic programs, our social emotional learning programs, professional development for our teachers. We're now a one-to-one technology district, and so again, we're always thankful to the mayor and Metro Council for that investment. So all of those investments have truly helped us be responsive to our students, and our goal is for every student to be known.
Mayor John Cooper and the Metro Council fully funded your budget last year. That was, I mean, it wasn't just fully funded. It's actually what you wanted, not just, it looked like it was close to what you wanted. I'm not sure that's really happened that often before. Another budget season is just ahead. Are you looking for another fully funded budget this year? Have you talked to the mayor and the council members? Are they amenable to that? Is the money there to fully fund what you want? Do you know what you want?
Of course, we have high expectations around our budget. I'm so thankful for the partnership that I personally have with our Board of Education, that our Board of Education and myself have with the mayor and Metro Council. We have now ongoing conversations around the needs of Metro Nashville Public Schools, and it doesn't just happen at budget time. So we're really thankful for the historic investment last year that made our teachers the best paid educators across the state. We know that we have a lot of work to do this year around our support staff, and that continues to be a priority priority for our board in employee compensation and making sure that we have competitive pay and all those other supports and programs that we were able to see funded last year.
In terms of your current budget, which was funded last spring, is the school system suffering as many businesses and individuals are with supply chains delays and shortages and things like that?
I mean, the labor shortages is where we have seen our greatest challenge. I mean, the majority of our budget is around the people, the educators who pour into our students every day. So just like many other industries, the labor shortage has been there. We've also seen that on supply chain with regards to nutrition services, making sure that we can get the quality foods and other needs of our students in paper for copying. We're still experiencing that like all the other industries are.
CBS News this week did a story about some ways that Montgomery County schools just north of here are doing things to bring teachers in more quickly, getting them the training they need, paying for it, but maybe taking only 2 years to get their degree instead of 3 or 4 years. Are you looking at situations like that so you can keep the number of teachers that you need on board and in the classroom?
That's one of many strategies that we're leveraging. Our Grow Your Own program, we definitely are scaling here in Metro Nashville Public Schools, but we're also fortunate to have teaching academies right here with our own students. And so we're creating pathways for our MPS students to really grow, and if they're aspiring to be an educator, to support them from their K-12 years into college and back into a great career serving our students here in our learning community.
How are your fuel bills running for buses and things like that? I mean, gas was at one level when this budget was approved. Gas is at a whole nother higher level right now. Is your contract still pretty steady on that, or do you foresee problems either now, or are you going to need more money to make sure you're okay next year?
Currently, we're able to manage where we are with those changes. Fortunately, where we're seeing this happening, we're entering into the fourth quarter of the school year, and so we're able to cover those costs as it stands today, but we're definitely keeping an eye on things as we close out this school year.
Your teachers and support people were at the council about a week or so ago thanking them for the money that they gave. But inflation's the highest it's been in 40 years. They're talking about the fact that they got some money, or at least the teachers felt that they got a good raise last year. But with inflation, a lot of that may be eaten away. Is the budget you're looking at, you and the school board looking at for next year, are you going to have to put additional significant increases and also include support staff this time?
Absolutely. That is our goal, our commitment to our staff. We're thankful again for the investment last year, but our goal is to get those step raises and those COLA increases a part of our annual budget. And this year in particular, we're doing a pay study to look at that our support staff and making sure that they have competitive pay as well.
Dr. Adrienne Battle is the director of Metro Public Schools. She's our guest on Inside Politics. Back to continue our conversation with her after this break.